This is a
Good time, Charlie?
production.
On your marks, get set, play.
Hello there.
Good favor.
That I really like.
That is delicious.
Welcome back to the Senate. It's Crimpy to say it's a great British Bake Off podcast hosted by us, me, Tayrell, 713. That's Nick Jew.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show them.
Oh, we'll get to that. That's my man,
Wop, 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 wop. Wop.
Certified Boogeyman. I'm the one that upped the skull with him.
Even though
Welcome to it.
they were saying like you shouldn't be saying that because they're saying that stands for without papers.
What?
That's not what he was saying, though. We know what he's saying. They were saying that, but that's
Okay.
not what he was saying.
I think
That's
he's
simply
saying,
a gun noise.
Onomatopoeia, yeah. Womp,
Yes.
womp, 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 womp.
Yeah. that was your boy Adam 22, right?
No, I don't think so.
Reaching like Mr. Fantastic. Yeah. So
I don't participate in anything him or his wife does.
oh well, like I said, I thought it was him. I thought I saw him on talking to Charlemagne.
Aunt
So-
said, that's whole shit. I got a son to raise. I got 2 sons to raise.
If y'all not getting down, if y'all not aware of or not fully versed in this Kendrick Lamar situation, the stuff that look, it has nothing to do with baking, but I'm gonna talk about it right now anyway because these are my folk and I can talk about it. Today, or at least it came out today, DJ Academics had somebody on his show talking about I can prove that Kendrick Lamar was using bots to get his streams up, and I'm just like, this what y'all doing? Y'all just that mad that y'all lost. That this is this was going on.
It's very sad, actually.
It's the wildest, softest nonsense, and I'm just astounded that it exists. Tomorrow, Kendrick's pop off. He named it that. Juneteenth pop off occurs from the time we record this. My man Chaffee got tickets, so he going. So I'm gonna have somebody on the ground, people.
Oh,
And of course,
I'm
I'm
in the state, but nowhere near.
I'm gonna be of course watching the broadcast on it. It's on Amazon and it's on Twitch, so I will certainly be viewing this and enjoying it.
So it's 4:00 their time, 7:00 ours.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's gonna be great. I'm excited. Wop 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 wop.
One last thing.
Go on.
I wish I had sent you before all this start. All the think pieces came out. Me and Emery recorded the first before everything popped off. The first song me and him was listening to it. This is my 6-year-old, mind you. His thoughts on what Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef was starting off as.
Fair.
and I-
Which one? What song was it?
It had to be Euphoria.
Okay.
It was that that afternoon. I was like, man, like I should have sent it to you, but it was too late. It was too late now.
When you hear that on this week's skim, the skim we record this week that you'll hear next week, just remember you heard about it here first. Let's get to the business at hand, and that is Series 7, Episode 4 of the Great American Baking Show. It's Pastry Week, y'all, which can be a finicky week, depending. And this week was interesting, at least to me. The little pastry CSI bit I thought was pretty fun. I guess I like
Really good. It was so well done.
it's just like, I don't know, man. I like these two a lot. I like their humor, and it just works for me. So I'm never too like out of pocket If they do something dumb or boring, I'll let you know. But so far, so good.
Yeah, this was good.
We're down a baker this week as Nicole is ill, which means we only have 4 in the tent, and that's Chris, Mackenzie, RJ, and Dr. Jen. Respect on her name. And we're going to set this bad boy off with the signature.
Signature challenge: 12 identical savory filled handheld pies. Pies can be any shape, flavor, and size, but they must be uniform across the batch, and the filling must be sealed and enclosed inside the pastry. They must be served with a dip or a condiment, and they have 1 hour and 45 minutes for the steak.
My mama used to make us ham pies. She used to make little apple ham pies.
Oh.
And I don't know how long it took her to create them bad boys, but that was a part of my little growing up life. That was when I was way young, like super duper little. But I still recall it clear. That's when we lived on Rust Avenue in Tennessee. That'll take you back to that house. And if you're in Tennessee, you know where Rust Avenue is, kind of at the border of Millington and Memphis. That's what's up. Jen is going to try her hand at Jamaican beef patties because she went to school in Bed-Stuy, and in the neighborhood she went to school in, do or die. Damn right. She got down with to get through school, beef patties. Beef patties are real kind of vibey situation. I want you to know, this is something I've come. I know everybody has thought this, so it's not like my thought is unique. But I love the ideal that the whole world has their version of a dumpling.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody make one. Everybody got a chili, a chutney, a curry. Everybody got something, and it's like, yeah, we all just kind of, that's how the globe works. So we always like stuff that in some dough and see what goes on. And it just seems like everybody does it everywhere, and I love that. Jamaican beef patty, you know what it is. If you don't know what it is, it's chopped up beef, it's minced beef, ground beef, onion seasonings. She's of course going to add a Scotch bonnet pepper that she's so freaked out to even do. Because she just they immediately get in her head like, it's gonna blow your head off. And I'm like, you Brit. Non-spicy themselves. And it got in her head almost immediately. So much so that she wouldn't even taste her own filling. And I'm like, you gotta taste it. You gotta taste it. You gotta know. And nope, even she refused to eat it, which I don't know. Chris is up next. He's going for a smoky blue cheese and Parma ham pies, filled with, you guessed it, blue cheese and Parma ham, but also with braised leeks and pine nuts. And he's also making a spicy peach chutney, though it would have pear in it that he mentions, but he called it spicy peach. I guess it's like the juicy juice. You know, juicy juice, 100% juice, but it's like not really. It's like mostly apple, and they sprinkle some other juices up in there.
Wait, I have a question. Isn't that just prosciutto?
Parma ham? Let's see. Is that prosciutto?
No,
I mean, look, the internet gonna tell us. We ain't got to guess. Come on. Parma ham. What is Parma ham? Parma ham comes from the hind legs. Hold on, where to go? Why'd you switch? I've come across Parma. Oh, exactly. If you come across Parma ham, prosciutto di Parma, at the grocery store or on the restaurant menu, you're looking at a specialty product that traveled all the way from Italy. Parma ham hails from the province of Parma in the northern Italian region of Emilia-Romagna, which also produces Parmigiano Reggiano. Hey, y'all, I was supposed to do Baker's Make the World Go Round, and once again, I just skipped it. So kind of count this, okay? But beside it being an Italian import, what makes Parma ham special is Parma ham. Oh, here you go. Is Parma ham and Nick the same thing as prosciutto? What is Parma ham made from? Parma ham comes from the hind legs of pigs, curing the meat with sea salt just enough to preserve the ham without tasting too salty, causes it to lose a significant amount of moisture, about a quarter of its weight. For the preparation of the legs, the aging period is at least 1 year by law, starting from the date of the first salting, though some may be cured as long as 3 years. The result is a bold, concentrated flavor. In the next article, hold on, we're gonna just let's play the theme right there.
I don't know that it's something that I would want like cooked. I've had it on a pizza, and it's just like I would much prefer like after the pie comes out of the oven, you put it on top, but like don't bake my prosciutto.
Yeah, that's the big old leg that be at Costco in the
Mhm.
in Christmas time.
Here, let me give you this. Bakers make the world go round. Because they do, clearly. All right, gave you that. Now, Parma ham versus prosciutto. You know, prosciutto is a dry, cured, thinly sliced pork that tastes nicely salty. Prosciutto is the Italian word for ham. As the literal meaning of prosciutto di Parma, ham from Parma, implies, Parma ham is a type of prosciutto that comes from the Parma region. Not all prosciutto is prosciutto di Parma, though a handful of Italian regions produce prosciutto, including prosciutto di San Daniele, or Daniel, no, that's Daniele, from the northeast corner of the country, and prosciutto Toscano from Tuscany. What's more, not all products labeled prosciutto even come from Italy. People around the world now use similar methods to cure and slice ham, labeling prosciutto too. Technically, however, prosciutto refers to Italian-made hams, whether cured or cooked.
So it's like prosecco versus champagne.
Correct.
Nice.
With a bit of prosecco. And I'm gonna count that, and I'm not gonna read the other article I got because it was kind of whack. So that was Bakers Make the World Go Round. In the middle of us talking about the signature. Which I'm gonna pull right back up now. Let's see. RJ is going for pork belly curry empanadas. I always, of course, my homeboy's Puerto Rican, so I always think of the Puerto Rican way, which is empanadillas. They are the exact same thing. Empanadas and empanadillas are the same thing. Puerto Ricans call them empanadillas. Mexicans call them empanadas. Same difference. So these little pockets, again, same as a Jamaican beef patty. I'm not joking when I say that. I mean, I might do disrespect, but it's seasoned dough, and then you stuff that with some stuff, and you bake that bitch up or fry it.
Like the crust for the pie part is a little different on the beef patty. Like it's made of because it looks a little yellow.
So,
That's the
but
good one.
yeah, but like, and you use the Goya joints.
No, I can't get down with Goya no more.
Okay,
They
But,
support that man.
Yeah,
they as a company don't. I want y'all to know that in fact the employees were very much against that dude.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
that dude who supports that
Gotcha.
man.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
just respect on their name.
So, to another polarizing character, Lizzo, the grocery store that she got her food from.
Oh, run away from me.
Yeah, they
Okay.
have lots of different empanada doughs that I get down with.
Okay.
And like some, what's that? What's the red seed and anise? No, anaconda.
No. I know what you're talking about though.
But that's pretty much the only difference between like the doughs. Like if I'm not mistaken, Jamaicans use the same Goya dough as Puerto Ricans do.
Okay. It just always felt like an empanada is like a drier, like floury dough, and the beef patty is more like cornbread. Not exactly, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I feel like beef patties are baked and empanadas are fried.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
True indeed. Well, this particular one is made with pork belly, with a pork belly curry, with some potatoes, some other things going on there, with a side of tonkatsu sauce. Also, it's Worcestershire. It's not that difficult. I don't understand people having.
Why were they adding extra shears?
It's like this is one of those words that
Because
I
it's our
understand.
show.
Had to fill that time out.
Yeah.
It's a real easy word. I want y'all to know, okay? My homeboy lives in Worcester, Massachusetts, and it is spelled like Worcester. You know what I'm saying? Worcester. If you saw it, it's Worcester, but it's just Worcester, and it's pronounced Worcester. And so it's just weird to me. I'm like, people, it's not that challenging. Mackenzie is basically making a cheeseburger ham pie filled with cheeseburger filling along with
mouth.
Because it's just the In-N-Out burger. That's all she was doing.
Yes, it is.
She put, of course, some sauteed mushrooms and onions and truffle oil. She was going. So what she goes, okay, check it out.
Animal style.
You know what I'm saying? She take the filling, right? She put that in the bread, just the meat, right? Then she throw that onion and truffle on top of that. So basically, when you bite down through it, first you're gonna hit the dough, of course, but then you're gonna hit that. I'm saying them onions and all of the good stuff right there. But yeah, it's an In-N-Out burger, animal style. Because of course, she decorated with some sesame seeds, some cheddar cheese, and she made some secret sauce, Thousand Island dressing. Y'all know what it is. We all know what it is. And that's what's up. You get. And again, me and Nick know each other for a very long while. I don't think we've ever discussed In-N-Out.
Don't.
Oh,
piss
it's
me
trash
off.
to your boy.
Don't piss me off.
But also,
What's trash about it?
first of all, you know I don't eat beef, so I can't speak to the actual equation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then
They're
you're
French
just
fries.
You're just talking about the fries. The thing about the fries is these are home fries. These are the fries that I used to make with my cousins when we would spend the night at each other's house. And now all of a sudden everyone hates those fries. I don't understand.
Ma'am, I make fries from scratch. I have made fries from scratch. They do not taste like the ass that In-N-Out is putting up on the border. They do
that's
not.
fine taste. I love In-N-Out fries. I think that they taste like potatoes.
Ugh. And they have a bitterness to them that I cannot stand. Ugh.
How many times have you had them?
Oh, twice. Come on. It's not like I've lived a good.
I don't get the In-N-Out hate. I really don't. It's one of those things where it's like people love a thing and then other people are like, that thing is disgusting that you love. And I'm like, okay.
It is clear to me
More for me.
From people who enjoy burgers,
Yeah.
that they make probably one of the dopest burgers in the game. No one is ever going to convince me to the contrary.
Their
burger must be something special.
I think that they get compared to burger places where it's like, why are you Whataburger? They don't even do the same thing. It's not even the same kind of burger.
I always hear Steak and Shake, and I'm like, not Steak, Shake Shack, forgive me. And I'm like, I just feel like these are two very different products, and why are we talking about them?
Maybe Five Guys or like a quarter pounder burger, one of those drive-up burger places is to me.
I don't know, man. It seemed to me In-N-Out really keep their prices more in line with fast food, and them other places is more like, fast casual prices,
Yeah. I don't
know. And they kind of churchy, so people get up in their arms about that. They be hiding Bible verses at the bottom of their cup.
But that's it.
But But they have always paid their employees a good wage,
a living
wage. So right now, because everybody's like up in arms because California has raised the minimum wage for fast food employees. They like see In-N-Out having it like In-N-Out was always doing that. Mm-hmm. So they seem to be a good corporate entity,
right?
And like I said, nobody gonna tell me they make bad burgers because I don't eat burgers, and everybody I know who do say In-N-Out burgers go hard.
Yeah,
I gotta think they
dislike the fries. I don't dislike the fries. I really enjoyed them.
All I got is they French fries, and they made me an awful grilled cheese because you know what they do with how they make their grilled cheese? They use the butts of their buns and slap some cheese between it. The disrespect. Don't use the heels, baby. Use the tops. But it's all good. I was very excited that McKenzie was doing this because of course they say West Coast burger chain. I'm like, we can't just say In-N-Out. We said Vegemite.
If it's so gross, then why is always a long ass line? I don't understand the issue.
Again, the people who say that shit is just spiteful.
And there's never anybody from California, which I find interesting.
For sure. So haters. And I'm always gonna be like, I'm always gonna talk bad about haters. Plus, you're my homegirl. I trust you. If you say it's hitting, they hitting. They fries ain't hitting for me though.
I'll have an update very shortly if they holding up.
Judging is as follows. RJ is up first. Oh, I want y'all to know once again, RJ was in third spot on signature for being, basically reviewed again. 4 weeks straight. RJ, third spot when they talk in the signature. Just saying. I don't know what it means or what'll come of it. It's something I've noticed.
Now that we have a little like BTS on the show, you can hear the noise in the tent. As soon as they start the challenge, it sounds like there are 40 people in the tent giving directions and instruction because it's more noise than the amount of bakers that are left could possibly make.
Yep. Yeah. RJ's up first. They would have liked to have seen more color. Not as uniform as they could have been. It smells so good though. The pastry lovely. The pork is a tiny bit tough to prove. Who basically, I feel like that was self-fulfilling. She was like, that's going to be tough because you ain't got enough time to cook it. And then she was like, yeah, see, it's tough. Like, was it though? Or you just made it up in your mind it was going to be tough?
Well, Prue, she'll give credit where credit is due. If she's like, I don't think it's gonna work, and it works, she'll be like, I didn't think it was gonna work, but it's a triumph or whatever.
True indeed. Paul thinks the flavors and textures are all spot on. It's just the looks is where it's lacking. Jen's up next. A variety of sizes. They love the bake. They love the overall decoration, which is just the little 3 slices, basically the little steam vents,
Yeah.
but hardly any filling. They cut that bad boy open. It was like it was so much bread to filling ratio. I was just like,
That just showed how scared she was.
yeah.
Like
I think they shook her up, and that's no good either.
They did get in her head.
Yeah.
they got they got in more in her. They got deep down in her soul because like she didn't taste it, and then when it cracked it open, it was just like right on the edge. It was like the ratio was all off.
The chili is fine. The pastry is what they say about the pastry, because what I wrote here does not make sense. I think they were okay. No, dry. That's
Dry.
what it is. Like what word is that supposed to be? The pastry was dry. Flavor wise, good. Proper amount of filling would have made it on point. It just the proper amount of filling would have made for a less dry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mackenzie's up next. Great looking. The way the knife cut through him, Paul was like, yo. I love when Paul gets taken aback by a bake. Like something that hits him like, yo, well, okay, we doing something here. The Prue, and I love Paul Prue says, the most delicious little pie.
Mm-hmm.
The filling's well balanced. The Thousand Island was on point. It's just good shit all around.
Too much onion, somebody said.
I thought she said it was just a lot of onion, not so much too much onion.
Oh,
She's
okay.
like, she goes, I can taste that onion. It's a lot of onion in there. She didn't really say, fuck your onions.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris, they look terrible.
Oh.
Not consistent. They stuck to the pan. The pastry's a bit raw, but they go bonkers for a man's little spicy peach chutney. And Prue was like, if the chutney was the point of this shit,
Right. You won.
you was on.
Right.
It's a triumph. The chutney was a triumph.
It was a chutney challenge.
Yeah. The Parma ham and cheese just don't, in Paul's opinion, just don't work together.
I don't think
Because Parma ham should just be celebrated on its own. And I can understand that. You know what I'm saying? Blue cheese has its place. And I don't think it would have worked well in that particular little situation.
So was that salty and funky?
Like manchego, some Gruyere, something else. Maybe.
Yeah. A nice cheese to go along with that nice meat.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying blue cheese isn't nice, because it could have been whatever. I truly was thinking maybe a Stilton, like an English, Stilton, because it's a little funky, little cheddary. Plus, it's big English. You can get kind of.
And he could have got it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm weird that way, y'all. That was our signature. Our technical challenge.
This one is set by Prue. Her advice was to leave enough time to make the bake look amazing. And it was supposed to be something that everybody in the tent was familiar with. They'll be making a classic American apple pie. The pie should include a tender short crust pastry filled with a spiced apple filling and topped with a decorative lattice, served out of the tin with a side of vanilla custard. They have 2 hours and 45 minutes. The very controversial serve out of the tin.
The wildest thing in the world to me.
That a pie gets served outside of the tin?
Just in your apple pie experience. I don't even talk about any other pie. I don't think I've ever had somebody bring me an apple pie that wasn't contained in something nice. A pie tin, a pie plate, something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, I fully understand why. And actually kind of would have liked to have seen them also. Well, that's getting a little ahead, but still.
Right.
well, you know how technical works, people. That's the operation. They've been given a bit of a short recipe to kind of put not really none of them. I whip an apple pie right now from scratch? Pretty much, because it's like a cup and a half of flour, stick and a half of butter. If you're trying to really hit it hard like that, a little sprinkle of sugar in that dough. Apples cooked down. You know what I'm saying? It's like 5, 6, 7 apples depending on size. I never think to cook them down first, and now that I've seen that, it's what I want to do going forward.
Because
I-
did it draw the moisture out? Was that the purpose of that?
Yeah, so they draw that moisture out, then they take that what juiced off of the bake, pour that into a pan and reduce that further.
Yeah, that's the technique I hadn't seen, because usually I do cook them down not only to to soften them up, but incorporate the flavor. Did they add cornstarch?
Not that I saw, but they may
Okay.
have.
Yeah, like usually I'll do a cornstarch instead of, but like cooking that to make it a caramel was an interesting technique that I hadn't ever seen before.
Yeah, and like I said, the next time I make an apple pie, I actually think I want to try my hand at that myself. Let's judge this operation. Chris is up first. Remember, these are judged blind. If y'all didn't know that, if you just in case just listening to us and not watching, again, I highly recommend you watch. It's a great show. But just in case you're not, the technical challenge is always judged blind, so the judges don't know who's they're getting first. But we know that Chris is up first. They take a look. They like the color. The lattice work is okay. Delicious. A tang and a bitterness to the apples. Some of the pastry is a bit rubbery because it was probably overworked, is what Dame Prue says. This is where I get real upset. Is too far a strong word, but it is what I guess is just basically how my feelings are. So my feelings here are upset with Jen. This and in the technical and in the showstopper for Mike, but in this one it's like it looks terrible. It's that reduced juice we were just talking about, and she ended up reducing it to a point of burning it.
It was like sticky paste caramel,
Yes.
like actual caramel.
The
Sugar daddy.
Yes, probably could have put it on a stick and chewed on it for weeks. The pie itself ended up being burnt. The apples themselves were burnt. The dough, the lattice is broken, overbaked everywhere. The apples are just mush. It's just bad, and they all had the same two almost 3 hours of time to do this, and I was just like, what is going on with her in time? And like I said, last week she showed up, and I was like, there, that's the baker who I think should be here in this tent. And then this week is right back to this, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. It's vexing. That's what it was. Vexing is how I would have placed that.
No one's lattice was that dope to me.
Yeah.
I don't make a good lattice myself. Now I try my hand at it every time, but it's just like, and maybe if I just slowed my roll, took my time, pulled out the ruler like they was doing, you know what I'm saying? And just, took my slow roll. Maybe I could make a nice lattice, but my kid never complained, and he loves my apple pie. And it's always and he's the one I make it for because he always wants to have pie for his birthday as opposed to cake. So
Nice.
I don't know, but you are right. None of them lattices was like, ooh, look at that.
Right.
We'll get there. RJ's up next. Looks pretty good. The lattice work is all right. The color looks quite nice. The lattice a bit random. In Prue's opinion, needed a couple more strips of dough to lattice it up further. But then they get into the pie and it's just wet. and Prue's like, the apples are raw, and I'm like, well, yes, apples are raw. They're not cooked through is basically what it comes down to, and it's just far too much liquid remains. She says there's a lake at the bottom of that pie. It wouldn't have been able to come out of the tin regardless. Oh, remember, this is supposed to be served out of the tin. Nobody took their pie out of the tin.
Nobody. And
Not a one.
And like they were like, pie doesn't get served out of the tin, and Zach was like, baby girl.
He's like, you're supposed to be on their side. He goes, I'm on the side of the truth.
I love him so much.
Y'all are sleeping on Zach Cherry because he is so fun.
You really are.
Mackenzie bringing up the rear. Uniform. A bit of color at the bottom. Good pastry. Good apples. All good. And the custard was good too. I didn't even share with you. They're supposed to make a custard to go with this too. A pouring custard. And I'm pouring custard.
Right. I don't know what that is. Milk.
Well, I get it. I understand it. I just don't want it on my apple pie. And I'm a man who enjoys some apple pie a la mode. You can put me a scoop of ice cream to the side there. I would love that.
I guess they just didn't have time to make ice cream.
Whip up some pouring. Well, no, but that's the thing. It seems like that is what they requested. I just think that they maybe eat apple pie with custard.
Yeah.
Though it is stated as American apple pie is an invention of the English. They've probably been doing this the whole time. We just don't.
I think I talked about this on this show before, but the first time I ever had apple pie was like in college.
No, you did not share that tidbit.
Yeah, I'm not really, I don't really mess with like wet bread. So I don't like peach cobbler. And at one point in my life, I was like, I don't like pie. I just had a key lime pie for the first time in like my 30s, to be honest.
What'd you think?
I love it. Key lime pie is like up there at the top of the heat of my dessert. But the apple pie, I was at a friend's house like in college for Thanksgiving, and her mother had like made an apple pie. I was like, oh, I don't like, unless it came from McDonald's, I don't really eat that. She was like, no, ma'am, you have to try this apple pie. And it was amazing. It was amazing. I could have done without the ice cream, but it was amazing.
Yeah. That's well done, man.
If we were a sweet potato pie, like if it was a pie, it was like a sweet potato pie type family.
Same.
But then, like, as being like older now, like my partner requests an apple pie, at least a couple times a year. But then we discover
with somebody who knew how to make an apple pie would also quarterly be like, "Can I get a pie?"
Yeah, some December babies. That's what it is.
Yeah,
apples in season. Can I get that?
But ever since we discovered Costco's apple pie, not Sam's Club, don't get confused there. But yeah, Costco's is the truth.
Fair. The ranking, of course, Jen comes up the rear, burnt it. Burnt it. That's what they improved told this woman. RJ, juice not reduced enough. Wouldn't even have gotten out of 10. Chris, bakerly nice, a bit untidy, but a decent bake. Mackenzie comes in top. The pastry is perfect. The apples perfect. The syrup reduction is perfect. The best lattice work on top. 2 straight.
Yeah, and then think about it, like they focused on RJ reducing his juice, and then he's the one who didn't get it right. They trying to throw that that loses edit, like sprinkle it around like anybody can get it.
I'm like off rip. Like, I mean, we're just gonna be real with you people. If somebody's not in the tent, they're not sending anybody home that week. It's just tradition.
Yeah,
because it seems in their mindset that it's unfair. I disagree. I like a double elimination. We just discussed it last week. It's my jam. Jen should have went home this week. And unless some greatness happened next week, she better go home next week, which I have not watched yet. I can't tell you, but still.
Showstopper Challenge is an over-the-top, whimsical pot de choux inspired in design and flavor by botanical theme. They are to let nature inspire their flavor choices and design. The pot de choux pieces should be filled with the same filling throughout the centerpiece, and they have 4 hours to complete the challenge.
Nick Jew, were you show-stopped this week?
No.
What were you not show-stopped because of the theming, or were you just not impressed with the product that was presented?
I wasn't impressed with the product. Like, I love Mackenzie. She had obviously the best one, but there was like foil showing through on hers. A piece fell off when she brought it up to the judges table. Like, nobody put down a piece, and I was like, oh, that's so beautiful. I liked RJ's. I was impressed by a couple of them, but
I
I
ain't,
didn't. Yeah,
I ain't never gonna be right with a Tory gate since my man got kicked out off that. that- if it ain't justice for Jurgen,
man,
Huh.
it's justice for nobody.
till the wheels fall off. Till the wheels fall off. I want an all-star season just so Jurgen could win.
Thanks. A pot of shoe is just shoe pastry, y'all. It's just cream puffs. Imagine that. It's just honestly, if you know what a cream puff, that's what they're doing. They're making cream puffs, and then they are taking those cream puffs and building something out of them, or replacing them in ways. Well, I guess that's what the little ones are. They make cream puffs, so that's part of it. But also, they could pipe eclairs out of shoe pastry. You could make do what Chris did, who was up first here. He's making a giant African daisy. So
I
he's
thought
making
Chris's was pretty.
It was.
I found it to be the most interesting one of the other things. I love Mackenzie's, truly I did, but I like that he just did something that I've never seen somebody do with shoe pastry before, because it always ends up being cream puffs
It looked
stacked
like a
in a weird way.
churro kind of.
Yes.
Yeah, and so he pipes these shoe boats. Those will be filled with a vanilla creme pat, and then a blackberry ginger compote, kind of beneath that. And then he has the middle. Imagine, if you will, the middle of a daisy. What the hell's the middle of a flower called? The pistil, the stamen. You know what I'm saying?
I think
Is made with more with more shoe, but decorated with pistachio marzipan situation. And I don't know. Like I said, I thought it looked great. Mackenzie is making a peach cobbler tree. So she's going with peach glaze cream puffs, and also brown sugar cracked lane cream puffs. And the cream in these situations is a peach creme diplomat. And a creme diplomat, just in case y'all don't recall, it's a custard dessert that's a mix of creme pat and stabilized whipped cream. So it's lighter than pastry cream, but richer than whipped cream. Basically, that's what creme. Because you're gonna hear creme diplomat. No, they all were saying diplomat cream, and I was just like, sure, I get it. You want to Americanize it. You want to make sure it fits everybody's situation, but bro, we've been calling it creme diplomat for too long to be trying to just change it up now. It's unnecessary. Just call it creme diplomat.
I had to Google African daisies. The regular ones are pretty, but there were these like very rare ones that look like some sort of alien flower that I just put in the chat.
Yes, I'm looking at them now. That is wild,
Right?
huh? Why they daisies doing that? What's going on in Africa? And what part of Africa? They say that's one of the things that irked me a lot more than it should. Africa is massive. It's an entire continent. Where do these daisies come from? The west, the east, the north, the south? Give me something.
A country would be helpful.
Yeah, just narrow me down a little bit.
So they're native to South Africa.
See how easy that was? Call them bad boys South African daisies then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to get that worked up about it, but y'all, that's what it is when folk a little too loose with Africa. We don't do it to no other continent. You don't just say Europe.
Right.
Although I guess we do say the European badger. That is a very specific animal.
I say Europe. I'm like, I went to Europe. But I did go go to like
You went to multiple countries in Europe. You did.
Right. Right. I went to Europe. Well, two countries in Europe and one Brexit situation. I don't know what the hell.
Look,
England.
Victoria, you the homie. Where is England located?
In Europe.
In the continent of Europe.
On Europe. Whatever.
Therefore, it is Europe. I don't care what they voted. Just because they don't use the euro means nothing. They are in Europe.
It's wild though, because you have to like go through customs and like it's a thing.
Didn't used to be that way. Till they got real bitch made. But what are you gonna do with the
It's based on racism. Like
it is.
I mean, everything's based on racism.
No, this is specifically like we want to keep people out of our country.
Mm-hmm. Because they would have had to abide by European law, and they was like, we don't want to do that. Out of the blue, mind you, because they was doing it just fine for a very long while. Anyway. Jen is making a lovely lemon shoe stopper. It's basically a croquembouche lemon glaze, lemon creme diplomat filled shoe buns topped with a lemon glaze. What was supposed to have been decorated with marzipan, lemons, and edible flowers. It would have been amazing if any of that happened. RJ, Sakura raspberry lychee shoe torigate. It's lychee and raspberry puree with the sakura powder. Sakura being the leaves or the flowers of the cherry tree. Can't recall. Basically made it to a powder form. And how did I jump ahead? The all that's used to flavor his creme diplomat, and he was saying he filled his shoe buns, which he had multiple red crackling topped and black crackling topped shoe buns, and then he's gonna pipe basically like sakura little cherry blossom flowers all along the torii gate. A sound idea. I don't know if it pulled off as well as he wanted it to, but I thought the idea was sound. In fact, RJ's up top in the judging, so let's jump right to him. Paul thinks the pipework looks neat. He's like really taken aback by how all the shoe buns, including the crack lane, all look the same, which is very tricky to pull off. Everything's bonded quite nicely. You know what I'm saying? It's not just, sometimes you'll see people sticking stuff together and it's like, we'll get to an example of that here shortly. Everything tastes nice. Prue was like, I don't know, man. It's lightweight, kind of rich. And Paul sat there kind of considering what she said. And she's like, I'm just saying, man, that the flavor is powerful. And I guess he was like, okay, I'm picking up what you put down, Dane. So
there were several puns about filling things and things squirting that I'm not even gonna bring up, except for right now. Look at me.
They're on demon time.
They were on demon time.
But I think this is his best work as far as like aesthetically looking at it. I think this is the best he's done. Like
he decorated.
He went to the lab this time.
Yeah. And I like his consistent pairing of Japanese and basically of California Mexican cultures. That's just what he get down with.
He in his lane for sure.
And I wondered, like sure, he might enjoy Mexican food, but I feel like he might have been kicking it with Mexicans throughout his life.
Because that's what happens in California.
Yeah,
you live next door, down the street, around the corner from some Mexicans, and they cooking out, and you getting some. That's how it works.
So I think I like that whole vibe.
Because Mexicans are like us; they will barbecue out front. So you can't help but to be like, what y'all doing?
We made ribs with this dude.
Yes.
Chris is up next. Really attractive. The shoe is really nice. The creme pad is nice. The middle's dry. And the cream on top is slightly over whipped. But that was basically the judgment. They weren't really like neither here nor there on Chris.
Yeah, the one disappointing part is like some of the shoes he made didn't have anything in them. Yeah, just for decoration.
Yeah, the ones up top were covered in, that was his marzipan covered one. So I think he felt that was what was supposed to be popping off there. But I don't know if that was the brief because I thought it said they wanted everything filled.
Yeah.
So I think that's where he caught a little flack, but not much. Mackenzie. Nick, I hear what you're saying, but in general, it really looked attractive. It's really well done. Looks great. Color's fantastic. Though we lost in Eclair, pretty good construction overall. The shoe buns are plentiful. Prue initially thinks the peach flavor is a bit pale, to which Paul immediately slips her like, "Nah, baby, you got to take one of these orange
Take this
ones."
one.
And he like, "Yo, the more peachy ones are fantastic, absolutely delicious. That's how a shoe bun should taste. The overall look is a real nod to the botanical theme. Like it just was fire. 3 for 3 this week. Without a doubt, Mackenzie is just shooting lights out right now. So
Clearly Star Baker.
yes. Like it was one of the ones where he's like, no guess. I know they were like, sure, RJ's in line. Like, no, he was not. To say so, I get it because you're basically trying to like, look,
They have a show to produce.
Chris and Jen ain't looking great, and these two are looking real good. But it was clear by
They would have like sent Chris home and pissed you off. You know they would have.
Yeah, I would have probably had a fit.
But Jen. I felt for Jen. I felt for her because her shoe fell on the floor, and she's like, "What are you supposed to do?"
Hell no! I don't feel for her, and that's no disrespect to Dr. Jen. But on multiple occasions, Case was like, "Hey, yo, you gotta quit precariously balancing this bullshit."
Right.
Over and over, I've told you this. Like either it happened 3 times in rapid succession, or she came through multiple times and like, what is going on over here, girl?
Right.
Please stop balancing these bitches on the edge of your fucking bed. And what ends up happening?
She dropped it.
A whole tray of shoe on the motherfucking floor.
I could tell you somebody, daddy, goddamn it. What I tell your ass?
I hate it. I just listen to sage advice. Listen to what's up.
I felt bad for Dr. Jen.
The
way I would have served the floor.
I would, and also it's like in her mind, she's like, I should make more. In my mind, I'm like, do not make more. Mm-hmm. Decorate what you have and bring what you have to because what we end up with is well constructed, disappointing in the lack of icing or shine, boring, caramel too dark, so dark that it ends up causing the flavors not to work right. The buns are practically empty.
She didn't even fill them all.
The creme dip ain't hitting because the caramel's so bitter and dark because it's burnt. 3 things burnt this week. 2 of them in the technical, 1 of them here in the showstopper. This is sending home type shit.
Word.
And your saving graces, Nicole, was ill. It was upsettingly bad. It was a bad.
That she had something. She made a structure and it stood. Because I would have cried and quit.
Oh, shizzle dizzle. I just truly wish she would have. And it's just not. I know her. I know where the brain goes. You like, let me get it all together. Mm-hmm. Because if anything else, I can just make it. I can not just make. Because look, I'm not whipping up croquembouches anytime soon.
Right.
But I so want to see her get that croquembouche made with these marzipan lemons. Everything about it sounded so dope. And I just wanted to see it. And we just time.
She kind of got to go home next week on GP. Like, don't care how well you do. You just got to go home.
She got to dust the whole operation. It's got to be her last week's performance coming in this next week. Otherwise, no, you are correct. Yeah.
I just feel like if somebody gets sick, that's it. They should be done.
Yeah. Your star baker this week? Come on, bro. It was Mackenzie, and not by a little. No one got sent home, of course, because, like I said, Nicole was sick, which makes this next week a double elimination. A double elimination semifinal is a wild boy. And so I'm kind of excited by that idea, but also like, tough work, y'all. But it has to be. So semifinal next week, so no theme per se. They will be given various challenges and expect to met them out. And that's how it's got to be. I had a good time with this week's episode. I didn't actually watch it till like when was I texting you about that? Was that Sunday?
I think so.
Yeah, I feel like I didn't actually get to it. I got to it later than I normally do. And it's because Saturday I had to. I did. I literally had to. It's familiar obligation. We had to go out for breakfast for Father's Day with Vanessa's pop and some of her family, her sisters and the like. So, Becky gonna try her hand at Dutch Crunch for you. So we're gonna see what we can make happen. Becky is my partner Vanessa's baby sister, And I talked to her about it, and she immediately looked it up, was like, I think I can do this. And I'm like,
I love it.
cool.
Victoria, who was our guest last week, she's gonna try it as well. I would like for y'all to send me what you made.
Oh.
Please.
That is the intention. I made it a point to tell her, hey, my homegirl misses this as it's something that she cannot get in her neck of the woods.
I might even come to Ohio to get it.
But see, that's funny because Vanessa was like, we're driving down there. So
Or that. I haven't seen y'all in a minute. It would be nice to hug up on y'all and get some bread.
So I know this is off subject, but have you ever had pierogies, Nick?
I don't want to say yes because I feel like the grocery store freezer section pierogi doesn't count.
it counts.
Okay.
Trust
I
me.
tasted one of those. I couldn't tell you what it tasted like, so I need a do-over.
I've had them from a food truck. I've had them made from scratch. Vanessa's second sister, yeah, it's like 4 of them girls. So it's like, the math. They all got together and at her house and made a bunch last year for Christmas. And they made, what did Vanessa end up making? She ended up making like a curry joint, which is not a normal pierogi filling, but you know what I'm saying? She was just trying to hook something up. And so they, like I said, I had them of all ilk. I'm not saying it's not that they're any better or worse. Mrs. T makes a fine pierogi. Is all I'm saying.
I think that's who it was. But like I don't remember what they tasted like, and I think I had like a bite of somebody's. So
yeah, it's a potato filled dumpling. Some people will just boil them shits. I like
fried.
I like I saute them in a pan of butter myself. That's what I get down with. Vanessa will eat them hoes microwave.
Oh,
I mean that's kind of how I feel about any dumpling, really. Like it don't matter how you make it hot, just make it hot, and I'm gonna eat it. I'm a huge fan of all dumplings except chicken and.
Okay.
Because that's just a wet glob of dough dropped in some goo.
I have actually found that shaking them some Mrs. T's in some melted butter, throwing them shits in the air fryer makes for a very nice product.
Yeah, I can see legit.
That. Yeah, so.
I kind of want to make now an In-N-Out burger with like, because I keep seeing people make these like phyllo pastry things.
Oh yeah,
where you just put things on a tray and then you lay the pastry dough down on it and put an egg wash or whatever on it and then you bake it.
Like an In-N-Out Wellington?
Kind of like a open-faced Pop-Tart.
Oh.
Okay. Get down.
Man,
yeah.
I swear, like I think Aldi the other day, and I just walked right past, had there was like out on sale, and I was like, what should I be making with some pastry dough?
Just get it next time.
Some puff pastry, you probably make some.
Next time could be tomorrow morning.
Question of the week, Nick already told us it is. Y'all ever had a pie served out of the tin?
I think I have one time.
And so Vanessa,
I feel like I was at somebody's Thanksgiving and there was a pie sitting like on a plate. And I was like, oh.
That's crazy. So Vanessa's mom, her grandma, is like the pie maker. And in fact, whenever I go up north to Canada, there's a flour she likes to use that they don't sell in America anymore. It's a Robin Hood flour. There was an incident at their factory here in America some years back where there was metal shards found in the flour. So they stopped making it in America. It never came back. So whenever I go across the border, I usually come back with a couple of 10 kilopound sacks for her. And she always is so grateful that I brought her back her favorite flour to bake up some shit with.
Aww.
But she always uses these beautiful pie plates
yes.
of different ilk and design and so forth. So I've never seen anything like that served out of it. I would literally really like to try my hand at the next apple pie I make, trying to get it fully out of a tin. And I wonder how we need to connect the lattice on the top so that it doesn't end up baking itself to the pan, and that it can get up and off. And I will try to work the magic because I make the dough from scratch. I'm not using like when I make chocolate chip pies, I use the Pillsbury.
Excuse me, a what? Oh.
So the pie I make is a chocolate chip pie. It's a Toll House recipe my mama used to make all the time, and like I still have the card she has the recipe written down on.
I think I need it.
And have since tweaked a little bit. I cut the sugar back just a bit. It wants like a whole cup of sugars, and I think I cut it back to like 3/4 of a cup.
Okay.
And I tried to cut it back less once, and it's like, no, it definitely does need the amount of sugar that it's asking, but you can cut it back that little bit. So it's
What about
basically
like a large
it's a-
Reese cup made into a pie.
fair. It's just if you imagine it's almost just whipping up how you would a chocolate chip cookie, putting in a pie tin, probably a pie crust.
My lord.
But it's
It sounds amazing.
I get down with it, and like my sister's probably her 50th, I think. We drove down to Virginia, and I baked her a pie at the Airbnb that night. And when I show up at her door, 'cause she didn't know we was coming, it's a surprise.
Oh.
I had a pie in my hands.
Aw.
So it was so dope. Yeah. And it's dope. And like I said, I got my mama's OG recipe, but then of course it's a Toll House recipe. So I have the Toll House recipe, of course, in my book over here too. And it's a fun one. Here's the trick they don't tell you in the book, and I told y'all about it last week. You gotta dust your chocolate chips and they won't settle to the bottom. They'll be more integrated throughout the entire pie and stuff.
What do you mean dust them?
So literally, if you will, get yourself a bowl, maybe just maybe a quarter cup of flour. Throw it on that bad boy, shake them out, and then I will throw them into a little strainer, a fine mesh strainer, and shake off the excess. And so then what's usually, because it's chocolate, so it's got a little grease to it because it's cocoa butter. The flour will usually adhere pretty well to the chips themselves, and you stir them gently into your batter when you get to that point in the recipe. And instead of having them at the bottom, which is nice because you get a bite and you got a little so if you do it without doing that part, what you end up with is like a little soft pie cookie kind of situation on the top, and your chocolate chips at the bottom, which is tasty. But I like having them distributed throughout.
Sprinkled
I think
in.
yeah.
That's the technique for anything. Like if you're doing cherries or raisins, like get the flour going. Or it's the same thing with fried chicken. You gotta have that base layer of flour in order for things to stick and keep going.
You just throw through that dredge, you hit it on your wash, and then you go hit it with the flour second time, or you hit it with the breadcrumbs.
It depends. Like when I'm making fried chicken, I flour it, let it sit, because then of course it's meat. Meat's a little wet sometimes. Yeah. Flour it again, let it sit. And like do it as many times as you feel like it's needed, and that's like even if
only the YouTube people will catch that. I'm 13. I'm a 13-year-old boy. I just can't say certain things around me. I think I've fried chicken one time. I don't really enjoy like deep frying things in my home. But as of late, I've become like a mushroom person, and I've been chicken frying oyster mushrooms.
Yeah.
And because I try to make them vegan, I make my wet batter with a little hummus and water.
Oh.
And it gives it a nice little tang to it, which is the same thing that the homophobic chicken place does by brining their chicken in pickle juice.
Pickle juice.
And have y'all used chickpea flour for anything?
No.
Yeah.
But
I just had some chickpea pasta.
What you think of that? There was the one that come in the orange box.
It was good.
Fair.
But then I saw something on TikTok that said it has like the highest level of ground up plastic of any food on the shelf.
Oh no! Well, you got to even it out.
Right.
We all full of microplastic at this point. It is what it is, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But it sounds like the technique you use is pretty much like substituting applesauce for oil when you baking.
Yeah. Basically.
Fair. What's the poll this week, y'all?
I would like a show related poll. So if somebody is sick, should they A, not be able to come back, B, do what the show is doing, or C, they continue on and then they come back?
So sick bakers out, week off,
and week off and someone goes home, or week off and no one goes home. I'm curious. I because of the nature of the show, I like what the show is doing and I understand why they're doing it that way. But this is so close to like the end. I feel like you're sick, you're done. Sorry.
I hadn't even considered that.
Or
Yeah.
piss in your kitchen at the apartment and somebody come get it. If you just can't be around people, if that's the thing. Somebody timing you from the outside.
Oh my gosh. I wonder. Yeah, it's like what? It's not like she out there kicking in the streets.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You in a foreign land. Most of you just staying in your Airbnbs. That's
Right.
that means somebody on your set was sick.
Mm-hmm. It's also probably not COVID. She probably just
Sick. Got, actual, she might have had the poops for all we know.
Mhm,
Oh.
mhm.
Cause you're in a foreign land and been eating different food that your body is like not used to. So
Yeah, I heard they don't got ranch dressing there, so that's probably what happened.
You can find it in the little American section at the store.
Yeah, I just
you know
remember
they call
episode
Cool
of
Ranch Cool American over there, which I'm just like it's just dope to me.
Yeah, I learned that from an episode of The Real World back in the '90s. So I'm sure
say
they have it
word.
now. Yeah,
They didn't have ranch dressing in, was it Australia or was it London?
it was the London
Yeah.
season.
They do. There's a small little American section in the market.
Yeah, every now and again, somebody on TikTok will show you all the American section of a store, and
It's wild. It's like hot dogs in a jar.
like we don't have that here. I don't know why y'all think we have that here. We simply
Yeah.
don't.
We got it in the can.
Yeah. A whole
The only jarred hot dogs I've seen are in the German section of the grocery store.
and they're pickled typically.
Yeah. What you doing? But that is a show, y'all. Thank you so very much for kicking it with us.
No
It's
feedback
always
this
a
week?
pleasure. Not that I saw, but I will. Oh, you know what? I am a liar because
Where
at
you
some
been,
point
Frank?
I thought I saw the little purple dot on on our interact tab. Let me jump over to that.
What, that fucking
Yeah, here we go. The question, of course, was, what's your favorite type of bread? And the response is from Brad himself.
Hey.
He says milk bread. Thanks, Brad.
Okay. Thanks, Brad.
That's dope. I posted something about Father's Day the other day, a little post about how fathers be getting whacked like, oh, Jim sure knows how to drink his Michelob Ultra. Because moms get these sweet little, dedicated poetry laced lists, whatever.
Y'all say that, and then I tried to get emotional with a couple of men on Father's Day. They're like, "Oh, just Father's Day." I'm like, "Okay."
If you know my history, it's in this house because we can't celebrate Mother's Day. I don't feel cool celebrating Father's Day, so I really don't get down with Father's Day too much. It is a day I'm like, please don't bother me. They'll be like, "What you want to do?" I'd like to sit here on this couch and play this Xbox unmolested. Can that happen? Cool. And if it can't happen because of familiar obligations, then I'll allow for it. So that's basically it. I don't really.
So you did exactly the same thing that every other father does. Y'all say that y'all don't get nothing for Father's Day, and then someone gives you something, and you're like, "We don't want it."
No. I have personally requested, don't do nothing for this day.
Right.
I don't know. I don't feel I've earned it. I'm just a dad.
Well, I feel like I'm more or less. I'm like, hey, don't really make a big fuss on my birthday, but Father's Day, hey, you got to do some shit. I need a macaroni necklace.
You need the macaroni necklace. That's another thing. School was always out well ahead of Father's Day.
Yes.
So I was never gonna get that dope whipped up for me. I wasn't gonna get the cup made and so forth and so on. But my kid did make me. I gotta see it. Well, you probably can't see it, but in that cabinet right there that matches this cabinet right here, because it's twin cabinets. My kid made me a little clay joint that I still have, of course, up there. So it is what it is, y'all. I'm just whatever. But I'm just saying, it's dope to Brad. It's dope to me that Brad is the homie now.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty fly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's Nick Jew.
Happy Father's Day.
Hold on, let me go look at my podcast app. Did I get a what's the tea today, Nick?
No.
Okay. I mean, look, I had 3 straight.
I had 3 in a row. It was a 3-peat.
From a show that was like, I don't know, man. We're gonna do it probably once a month.
Yeah.
I got 3 in a row.
Yeah.
I am full. And you be getting down with what's the tea? Just what it is. We didn't record Skim last week because of course it was Anthony's birthday. And so that all worked out.
And not only to celebrate Zaddy's Day.
Of course, that's Ant, you know what I'm saying? The birthday boy, the father, and so forth and so on. He's all these things. That's how he gets down.
The one of 3 June boys.
The Gemini. Put it on.
Well, yeah, I'm the Gemini. Emery's the Cancer.
Yeah.
And Anthony is a junior, so he's a honorary June boy, which drives his mom nuts that I say that.
Them Junior boys. I fuck with it. I am the Sarah 713. Bake with us again until next time, y'all.
What
Peace.
happened to your ass? It used to be beautiful.